You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Friday, 26th day of April, 2024. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're always glad to have you right here, right now. This is our second live broadcast of the day. Now, the first live broadcast every trading day, that's private, members only, and those taking the 1 week free trial. If you haven't taken the 1 week free trial, go to mytradingiq.com. At the very top of the page, there's a link. 5-day free trial, no credit card required. Click the link, fill out the registration form, take a moment to make sure you get it correct because it's an automated process, and if you don't fill it out properly, we won't get it and you won't get a free trial. And that's not what either one of us wants, right? Okay. Now, once the live training room ends each day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, we take a 30-minute break and we come back for the afternoon broadcast. This broadcast, 12 noon Eastern. Now, unlike the first broadcast, which is private, this broadcast is open to the public. Everybody, everywhere on planet Earth with an internet-connected device. There's a couple different ways to join this broadcast live. The best way, go to mytradingiq.com, scroll down the page to where it says afternoon broadcast. Click the link, complete the 30-second registration form, and you're done. What'll happen going forward is every trading day, you'll get an email about an hour before this broadcast starts. In that email, there is a link. So at 12 noon Eastern, all you have to do is click the link in the email, and it will automatically log you into our platform. The benefit is that you'll have access to the question box so that you can ask questions and participate in the discussion. And you won't have that 10 to 15 second lag time as we simulcast everything on our YouTube channel. Now, that's the second way you can join each day live. Because there will be days you're out of the office, away from the desktop, but you still want to join live. And there'll be days when you're busy and can't join live, but want to catch up later. Got you covered. youtube.com/CFRN. You already know the YouTube part, so you only have to remember CFRN. Not only do we broadcast live every trading day on our YouTube channel, as we're doing right now, but we also archive each and every daily broadcast. Currently, there are over 2,500 daily episodes archived for your educational and viewing pleasure. And if you're new to the world of CFRN, it's a great way to get to know who we really are. Not just today, not just this week, but thanks to the power of YouTube, you can scroll back 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, even more. And literally see how we've evolved over the years. And of course, you're not going to watch them all, but just pick days at random. Watch a little bit, fast forward a little bit, watch a little bit. You'll discover the thread of connectivity, the thread of continuity woven through each and every daily broadcast and our very vibrant trading community. youtube.com/CFRN. Okay, let's open with our daily devotional and a word of prayer as we do each day. Then we'll get into the markets, and then about 12:45, 12:50, Michael will join us, give us a recap of what happened in the live training room this morning. Then we'll go live on the TradingView platform for 30 minutes, and then we'll wrap it up with our good word for the day. Now, we started a new topic for our devotion yesterday, living changed, overcoming spiritual warfare. Now, first step, stop giving the enemy weapons. 2 Corinthians 10:1 is our scripture today. The weapons we fight with are not the weapons of the world. On the contrary, they have divine power to demolish strongholds. We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. 2 Corinthians 10:1. You might be thinking, well, I've worked hard to demolish these strongholds, so why am I still struggling? Well, you got to remember, Satan only has one goal: to steal, kill, and destroy. John 10:10. He will try to weaponize your words by attacking your inner dialogue, sink you in shame, and prevent you from sharing God's truth and your testimony. He will try to make you doubt God's promises for your life. But remember, God has removed our sins as far from us as the east is from the west. Psalm 103. While you've already been forgiven and can now forgive others, you may still find it hard to forgive yourself. Of what? Well, obviously of things you've done in the past. But the past doesn't exist anymore, does it? I've searched and searched and I can't seem to find it. As we explored yesterday, to give the enemy power when we respond to his lies with anything other than God's truth. Satan's weapons are rendered useless if you can let go of what God has already forgiven and forgive yourself. The adulterous woman in John 8 had already been forgiven by Jesus long before she was ever brought before him. While she was forgiven and saved from others casting stones, we often cast stones at ourselves. Have you forgiven yourself for your past? Or do you continue to condemn yourself on a daily basis? Rest easy, knowing that the shame of your past is gone. If you can find the fast, let me know, because I've looked. It's not there. It's gone. You, as a child of God, are fully redeemed, forgiven, and freed. What words do you give power to? Just by speaking them. In trying to be humorous, we can sometimes say things we don't necessarily believe. It feels easier to tell a half-truth than to commit to God's truth fully. But it doesn't win the war. If your words don't align with God's truth, it might be time to just stop talking. Instead of facing the battle with the same battle plan, focus on prayer, fasting, meditating on God's word. Like David, present all your emotions to God. Cry out to Him. Worry with Him. Cast your anger on Him. If you go to God first, it brings you closer to Him. But if you turn to friends first, it can cause harm. When we seek validation and resolution from others, it can lead to rebelliousness and even sin. The more you present your emotions to God, the easier and more rewarding the practice gets over time. So today I encourage you to make a decision to take every thought captive, making it obedient to Christ. If you intentionally capture your thoughts and speak words that reflect God's truth, the enemy has nothing to hold against you. Join me in a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for the words of the Apostle Paul, where he speaks of his gentle and Christ-like manner. Lord, we pray that you would cultivate within us the same spirit of humility, gentleness, and love as we interact with one another. Help us, Lord, to approach every situation with the mindset of Christ, who came not to be served, but to serve. May our words and actions reflect your grace and compassion, and may we seek to build others up rather than tear them down. Lord, we recognize that true strength lies not in forcefulness or aggression, but in the power of your Spirit working within us. Grant us the wisdom to rely on your strength and to resist the temptation to rely on our own understanding. As we navigate the challenges and conflicts of life, help us to respond with patience, kindness, and humility. Teach us to be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to become angry, following the example of Christ in all that we do. Thank you, Lord, for the example of Jesus, who demonstrated perfect humility and obedience to your will. May his life inspire us to follow in his footsteps and to live lives that are pleasing to you. It's in Jesus' name we believe and pray. Everybody said, amen. Amen. Happy Friday. Hope you're glad it's Friday. I am. Quite a week. We give you the numbers from around the world. Start here in the U.S. with the cash markets or the indices. Currently, the Dow's up 171 points. Nasdaq's up 315. That's over 2%. S&P 500 is up 53. That's over 1%. The Russell 2000 up 16 points, almost 1%. And in the commodity basket, crude oil up 50 cents, trading 84.07 last. Gold gaining another $5 today, trading 23.47.80 last. Silver dropping 8 cents, trading 27.27 last. In the Asian markets, at the close, the Nikkei gained 306 points, almost 1%. Shanghai gained 35, a little over 1%. The Hang Seng gained 366 points, well over 2%. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE up 60, the DAX up 243 points, almost 1.5%. The CAC up 71, almost 1%. So that gave us a green day in Asia, a green day in the UK, and a green Radio Friday here in the US of A. So wow, something good must have really happened, huh? Well, Bloomberg's article that posted just a little bit ago, U.S. consumer sentiment falls as inflation expectations climb. Huh. Remember, I've often told you that once upon a time, good news would always send the market higher, and bad news would always send the market lower. And I've told you that that doesn't hold true anymore. U.S. consumer sentiment fell in April on dimmer views of personal finances and the economy as inflation expectations climbed. The University of Michigan's consumer sentiment final April index fell to 77.2 this month from 79.4 in March. Now, that's based on the figures issued this morning. The median estimate in a Bloomberg survey of economists called for the gauge to hold at its preliminary reading of 77.9. Consumers expect prices will climb at an annual rate of 3.2% over the next year, the highest since November, and up from the 2.9% expected in March. They see costs rising 3% over the next 5 to 10 years, also a 5-month high. The figures highlight the stubborn price pressures, along with higher borrowing costs, are taking on consumers. At the same time, separate figures on Friday showed households continue to spend on the heels of solid wage growth. Okay, now this is one of those articles that you better take apart and you go research it and you take a deep look. Yes, Americans are spending more. There's the highest credit card debt in all of history. worldwide right now. And real wages for real people are not growing. You don't believe me? Take the time to go and do the research. So you ask, well, how can they print this if it's not true? My goodness, you must have just woke up from a really long 100-year nap. While consumers' frustration over high prices and their day-to-day spending decisions grew this month, price concerns for large purchases, durable goods, vehicles, and homes were all little changed from last month. In other words, everybody's still pissed, okay? About 38% of consumers reported that high prices were weighing down their living standards, up from 33% who said so last month. Consumers' perceptions of their current financial situations and the economic outlook over the next year both slid to 4-month lows. Now, Michael and I have discussed this on the program before. It's Michigan consumer sentiment. How's it done? A bunch of high school students work in a boiler room, a phone room, and they call people and they go, what do you think about the economy? Guess how many phone calls they made this time? 600. Now, I suspect if you made those phone calls into the 90124 area code, those people aren't affected by inflation. They have no money worries. Maybe you call Palm Beach. Or maybe you call the inner city, Detroit. Or maybe Harlem. I suspect you'd get a whole bunch of different responses. Now, we've been on to them for a long time, and we've talked about it and laughed about it and joked about it. Well, these college kids are about to lose their jobs because they're going to change the way they do it from actually making a phone call and talking to a human being to web interviews. In other words, you'll be asked to fill out a survey form, which would be about as worthless as a ballot in a drop box. So, anyway, that's the world in which we live. Let's rejoice and be glad in it, right? That's right. That's how we roll. Okay, Logic 247, our 24/7 around-the-clock E-mini alert service. This is the last time you'll see week 299, because next week it'll say week 300. That's a lot of weeks. Over the last 299 weeks, we've issued over 15,500, almost 600 individual handcrafted alerts. And we've averaged, on a weekly basis, 20% or less of the alerts being stopped out based on market structure and a very simple 3-step process we teach all of our passport holders. Now, Valerie did the recap this morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. So there'll be some changes, perhaps, from today's trading. It's a pretty quiet sideways kind of day, but we'll see. We'll see. But she will update the recap and finalize it for the week, either this afternoon or this evening. At the time she did the recap, we had issued 53 alerts since the markets opened Sunday night. Globex markets opened Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. Hang on one second. All right. So of the 53 total alerts issued, one never triggered, still waiting on the outcome of 14. That gave us 38 actionable alerts, of which 5 or 13% would have been stopped out based on market structure and that very simple process that we teach all of our passport holders in their one-on-one mentoring sessions. Now, the logic alerts, they're part of the educational process. They're not designed so that you can just trade them and not have to worry about learning how to trade. And you could have done this week or any week over the last 299 weeks and done just fine, right? But what happens when the day comes, those alerts don't come out? Then what? So we never ever encourage you to do that. We encourage you to use the alerts as they're intended as a learning tool to teach you how to read the chart, to understand what the chart is telling you, to spot the windows of opportunity, and then to spot the obstacles, whether it's a long trade or a short trade. So with each logic alert, logic alerts come out around the clock because futures trade around the clock and we have traders around the globe. You have an entry price and an initial target designed to help you get your goal for the day. Then, because I look left for you, I spot potential obstacles to the continuation of whichever direction the market is trending. It's a long alert. I'm looking left for previous swing highs, which can become current resistance. It's a short alert. I'm looking left for previous swing lows to spot the obstacles that can become current support. Now, each alert ends with a final trade to target. If it's a long alert, it's the weekly zone above. If it's a short alert, it's the weekly zone below. Now, what you should do is every time an alert comes out, even if you don't trade that market, and this is going to determine how serious you are about learning how to trade, whether you do this or not. I don't need to do all that, okay? Then you and I'll be having the same conversation a year from now. When an alert comes out, go to the 30-minute chart and draw a line at the entry price. Draw a horizontal line at the initial target. Draw a horizontal line at the second target, the third target, the fourth target. And then, of course, you'll run into the weekly zone, which is the final trade to target. The more times you do that, the more times you repeat that process, you won't need my logic alerts. And that's where we want you to be. We want you to become self-sufficient. We want you to be able to look at any chart of anything at any time and instinctively see where the windows of opportunity are and where the obstacles are. And the quickest way for you to learn that is the process I just explained to you, okay? Now, long before we had Logic 247, we had our original alert service, the concierge trade alerts. They're a little bit different in a number of different ways. Cut your teeth on logic and then step up to the CTAs. The CTA report is published shortly after the Globex Open each evening, Sunday through Thursday. Last night, I got them out pretty quick, 5 minutes after the open. First thing you do when the report comes out is go to the 30-minute chart of whatever market you trade. Make a note where price is at the time the report came out. Okay? It'll always be between these two numbers. Then draw a line in the sand at the long target. Draw a line in the sand at the short target. Those will serve as great visual cues to help you stay on the right side of the street. If price gets above the 30-minute BBC, it's trying to reach the long target. If price gets below the 30-minute BBC, it's attempting to reach the short target. The BBC is just the green line you see on my charts. It stands for bull, bear, cross. When price crosses above the green line, we're bullish and anticipate higher prices. When price crosses below the green line, we're bearish and anticipate lower prices. Now that's always relative to whatever time frame you've applied the BBC. But for the purpose of the alerts, it's always the 30-minute chart. Now, you get to look left yourself to spot the potential obstacles. Previous swing highs, swing lows that will become obstacles to the current opportunity. And you'll learn how price behaves at a weekly trading zone. That's important because price is always trying to reach a weekly trading zone. From the moment the markets open Sunday night till they close Friday afternoon, if price is above the 30-minute BBC, it's trying to get to the weekly zone above. If price is below the 30-minute BBC, it's trying to get to the weekly zone below. We've published the zones every week for our members since December 14th of 2009. So we're closing in on 15 years. They come out Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. And once they're published, they are carved in stone for the entire week. They don't change in any way whatsoever. Other than that, simply resist the urge to make it more complicated than that. As long as you know which way the wind's blowing, it's pretty easy to reach your goal for the day. All right, let's go take a look at the daily chart. Why would we look at a daily chart? Because that's where we can get very valuable information. Institutional traders look at daily, weekly, and monthly charts the way you and I look at 30-minute charts, 5-minute charts, tick charts, and range charts. Has to do with account size. You see, because of their account size and the size they trade in, they're the ones who actually move price. So by spending 2 minutes with the daily chart of whatever you trade, it could be a different futures market, it could be individual stocks, crypto, Forex, ETFs. You're literally looking over the shoulder of the deep pockets to see what it is they're trying to do. Because all you have to do is do what they're doing long enough to get your goal for the day. And so, what have they succeeded in finally doing? It took a while, all week, but we finally made it back to the BBC. Once that step line crossed red and falling, we knew it was basically only a matter of time before price got back to the BBC, because as you can see, price always reverts to the mean. In our case, the mean is green. It's called the BBC. Again, it just stands for bull, bear, cross. Now, we crossed the VVC back in November 2nd of last year, confirmed the up move on November 3rd, and it was April 1st of this year, April Fool's Day, that we put in the new all-time historic high. So we got a bearish cross. We came all the way down to the 38% fib extension. We spiked it last Friday. Then here came Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're finally at the VBC. So what happens here is very important. Price could spike up and touch 62% fib extension and the trend line. It could break through it and attempt to put in a new all-time historic high. But based on history, what's most likely to happen is after you have a bearish cross, red line gets below the green line, blue line gets above the green line, that's a bullish cross. The first time price returns to the VVC, it holds more often than it doesn't. So we may spike it, but ultimately we expect it to hold. Now we've got lots of support areas on the way down. Got the 24% fib retracement, got the 38% fib extension, got the low of last Friday, and we get down to the 38% fib retracement. So lots of areas for the market to find support. But based on the economy and all the other things happening, this is a presidential election year. We should be seeing a very broad-based rally, and hey, maybe this is the start of it right here. Maybe after this big move, the market just needed a little breather, and now it's going to take out this all-time historic high and just keep climbing. That's not what I expect or anticipate, but the market doesn't care what I expect or anticipate. The market's going to do what the market's going to do. And if I'm wise, I will simply trade what's in front of me. As I said, all alerts are created on the 30-minute chart. Vertical line right here separates today, Friday, which began last night at 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. Eastern. This is Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. Keep scrolling back. We'll see Tuesday and Monday, etc. So, we opened. We are red and falling overhead, bearish. BBC below us, bullish. And as the two met up, we just consolidated for a few hours. And then off that 8:30 news this morning, got this big move to the upside, which folded on itself before the 30-minute candle could even close. We ran up and back down in the twinkle of an eye. Then we spiked the BBC, spiked it again. Actually, we were coming off this spike. And then we got the perfect stack. Price, step line, blue and climbing, BBC. The high of the session so far, 51.43.5. So if we can take out that high at 43.5, then 47 to 50, that's a nice 3 points. 2 points go for the day. A shot at 3 right there. But you've got to let price definitely clear this, okay? Not by just a little bit. Just a little bit will get you in a lot of trouble, okay? Always make price prove itself. Well, it looks like it's going to do this. We'll wait and see if it does. And if it does, then go with it, okay? Never had any reason to consider trading to the short target, because in order to do so, we would have had to get below the BBC, not just spike it as we did here, but then we would have had to get below this zone. Okay, and none of that happened. On the Dow, we opened and basically flatlined until that 8:30 news came out, and just like on the ES, ran up, ran down, and we have run back up to the long target, touched the zone. When price rallies up to a zone, we expect resistance. When it drops to a zone, we expect support. These are the zones that were published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Remember, once they're published, they're carved in stone for the entire. So price is coming up to potentially challenge the zone again. If we can overcome the zone, be careful to watch this area right here. 38.6, we'll call it 15 to be careful. This potential resistance. Russell opened below the BBC, but we never broke below this zone. So no reason to be concerned with the short target. Once red and falling turned to blue and climbing, we got a leg and a retracement, a leg and a retracement, and then a leg. It took us just shy of yesterday's high. That's a sign of weakness. High, lower high, lower high, and so far, lower high. Although we are printing a green candle and we are attempting to move higher, look what's happening to the step line. It's crossing from the left side to the right side of blue and climbing, which is an indication that price will most likely attempt now a retracement back to the BBC. Just like here. See, when the step line crossed red and falling, what happened? Price pulled back to the BBC. It works in both directions. In Q, here's last night's open. We pulled back to the BBC, we spiked it, we touched the zone, found support, and off we go. Plenty of room to get your goal for the day. And we still haven't touched the long target yet. Now, look at the step line. It's starting to hook right. So is that the high of the day? Could be. But we'll wait and be patient, and we'll see if it actually crosses. And once it does cross, then we'll start waiting for price to get back to the BBC so that we can then potentially trade on the long side. If price were to drop below the BBC, you got a bullish cross right below. That's potential support. Keep that in mind. And you've got the zone, which is already proven today as good support. Support, or actually resistance to support, to resistance, back to support. Now we got resistance here and here. We can take out that high by enough. Maybe 17,910. And 12 points would make $240 per contract traded. And that's double your goal for the day. And then a little. Crude oil. Here's where we opened. Above the BBC. We overcame red and falling. This candle opened at 83.96. It took us up to 84.20. $240 per contract traded. When the market finds resistance, it will go look for support. Remember, the pullback holds more often than not. And so off we go again to the target. And then we get below the BBC. And on the pullback, we spike it, but we run into red and falling. So there's a little bit of a dogfight going on right here with crude. I would suggest allowing price to get down to 83.75 before shorting this market. And I would suggest it getting to 84.30 before attempting a move to 84.45. On gold, market open, pull back to the BBC, pull back held, red and falling turned to blue and climbing. And a thing of beauty, it took you right up to the target and to zone. Resistance sends the market looking for support, which it found at the BBC. Now, this was also that news at 8:30 sent us up again. We spiked red and falling, but red and falling actually won the battle here, pushed us below the BBC. We've had a retracement that attempted to get to the BBC, and here we sit. Let price get down to 23.33, and then you've got room to get your goal for the day times 4 before you get to the short target. Silver. Here's where we open, pull back to the BBC, made a run to the long target, overshot it, right here. Someday I'm going to teach you about that. And as we rolled over, price came right down to the short target, found support, bounced up into resistance at red and falling. Now it looks like it's going to come down and test it again. Gotta look way over here to find potential areas of support. If we drop below the short target, and keep in mind this is the lowest weekly trading zone for the week, this week and last week for silver. Euro, here's where we open, pull back to the BBC, the pullback held, and we get a leg and a retracement and a leg, and we're at the long target. Remember, price rarely travels in a straight line. Leg, retracement, leg, retracement. Now, the pullback holds more often than not, but in this case, it didn't hold. But it found support at the zone. And then the news came out, and as with every market, it ran up, and then people realized what it actually said, and it ran right back down. And we got below the zone, hit the short target, where the market finds support at the zone, same place it found support yesterday and the day before, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. Tuesday, it was resistance. Then it became support, support, support. Now that the market's found support and the step line is crossing red and falling, it's the logical thing to happen for price to rally up to the BC. Okay, Michael should be here. Let me see if I can find him. Did Michael mention to you guys that he would not be here today? Jones says he specifically said he'd be here. All right. Yeah, here he comes. I see him now. Welcome.
Pure. But Hang on. Were you calling for me, D?
No, we're just waiting on you.
Oh, okay. Here I am.
All right.
Sorry. Did you get a chance to talk to Randy?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And I saw the thing about seeking alpha too. That's good news.
Yep. All right, looks good.
All right, here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today's Friday, the 26th day of April 2024. It's the last Friday of April 2024. Now, if you have not taken a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com and click on the purple button right there. When you click that purple button, you will be sent a... hang on. This is what I'm trying to do over here on the screen. There you go. You click the purple button, you're going to be sent to this registration page. This one. Yeah, this one. This is the one for next week. On here, all you have to give us is your first name, your last name, your email, your phone number down here at the bottom. If you have a Ninja, give us your machine ID. If you have a Trading View, give us your login ID and hit register. Once you do that, we'll send you all the information that you need to get ready to go in the morning, the following business morning. Now, I'm just going through here and looking at that thing. All right. Yeah, I'm going to send an invite, copy invitation to this one person who apparently couldn't get stuff together. There we go. There. All right. All right, there we go. So if you fill out this form right here, give us your first name, last name, email, and phone number. I just sent this form to somebody. That's why I was saying it. All you have to do is your machine ID and your username. Now, if you have that stuff, you should give it to us, right? So we can set your indicators up for you and get you ready to go in the morning. All right, spreadsheet. We started out pretty slow today. Actually, we got the goal for the day pretty quick, but then I was off, I think, and I didn't take any more trades for a little while. There were a ton of trades to be had, but I think I was a little slow on the draw today. Anyway, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today on the NQ, I made 118 ticks. On the Russell, see, I made a separate column for the Russell and YM starting today. On the Russell, I was minus 10, and on the YM, I was plus 10. That is right. On the ES, I was minus 9. So that puts us at 477.5 on the morning session. Today it took 9 minutes and 3 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $1,760. We took a total of 30 trades. So on the month now, we're up $9,885, and we're averaging $494 per day. On the year, we're at $32,875, and we're averaging $410 per day. All right, now, if you were to do the 24/20 blueprint and add one contract per month, adding a contract per month, so far this year, if you started out with one contract and had one per month, you'd be in your 4th contract right now because we're in the 4th month. We're switching to 5 next week. You would have averaged $916 per hour. If you started with one contract at the beginning of last year, like I did, right now you'd be at 16 contracts and you would be at $5,391 per hour. Big difference, but this is a full 12 months ahead. So this is 4 times as far along as that one is right now. And so it makes sense. It would be 4 or more times as much. Now, we'll get into the trades. Okay, we'll start out with the YM. And the YM had a fair number of trades today, so we're going to do the alt and back on that. It's easier if I do this over here so I can see the actual numbers better. Maybe it's not right there. I do it right here. That's where it is. And I can see the numbers better. All right, so on the YM, we started out by missing this beautiful long trade right here. And we took a break even on that one, a break even on that one. And on this one, we took, it looks like 2 ticks profit on that. Then 2 more ticks profit on that one. That was a really nice trade. 2 more ticks profit on that one to get us to plus 4. A break even there, then 5 more ticks profit on that to get us to plus 9. And somewhere else along the way, we took 1 tick in profit. That might have been one tick. But somewhere else along the way, we took one tick in profit to get us to plus 10 on the YM. And that was it for us for today for the YM. Yes, I want to move this right here. Okay, I was just looking to see if there was any bounces there off the ribbon where the outer band was the right color. Outer band is the right color. I think a qualification. Huh. I'm just trying to figure it all out exactly right. Anyway, during the break, there were no more blue arrows right there. Okay, that was it for the YM. There were some green arrows there that worked out pretty well. You can see right here on the Russell, there was a nice blue arrow right there. But we'll go back to the beginning here on the Russell. We didn't have all that many bars. There wasn't that much activity in the morning. There was right at the beginning, but then it slowed down quite a bit. On the Russell here, we had break even on the very first trade, and then we stopped out on this one. That put us at minus. On the Russell, put us at minus 10. And then we had a plus 10 right there, get us back to 0, and then another minus 10 right there to get us back to minus 10. That's how we ended up with the Russell. We had another break even right there. I guess it was this blue arrow that I actually took the break even on. And I wasn't trading down into the zone on this. And then we get into the break. There was this one trade here during the break, just the one trade right there during the break. All right, so we'll look at the ES right now. And let's go all the way back to the beginning here on the ES. Then I'll just go back to, all right, on the ES, we had this one trade right here. We got one tick. And I missed that right there. And I got this one right here and it stopped me out. Minus 10 ticks on that. So we're at minus 9 on the ES. A couple more break-even trades in there, but the last long blue arrow is where all these targets are coming from. The last long blue arrow is where all those targets are coming from. And that was way back here. So the highest target that we have is 51.85. 51.40.25 is this one right here. I just I am just scrolling forward to see. Yeah, we did hit that one. And did we hit the next one up? We didn't hit the next one up. So the next one up is going to be 64.75. In a few minutes here, when I get into the next part of this stuff, the live trading session, I'll go over some of the bigger picture things that I wanted to go over with you guys. All right, I'm going to scroll back here now to the beginning of the session. It really is easier if I leave that like in the middle so I can see what the times are. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so on the NQ, we started out here. We didn't take this trade right here at the open. We did take a trade in here. I think it was off the ribbon. Right there was our first trade on the NQ, and we picked up 4 ticks on that. And then the next one right here, we ended up getting 18 ticks. It went off, and something was messed up on that one where it didn't hit my target. It should have had a 30 tick target on there, but I think for some reason my target wasn't there. We ended up getting just 18 ticks, but that's where we got the goal for the day on that trade right there. Right, then it turned around and gave a couple of blue arrows in there that I didn't get, and yeah, a bunch of blue arrows in there that I didn't get. We didn't trade the NQ again for a little while here. That's what I was talking about. I felt like I was off a little bit. Well, I say a little while. That was half an hour now. Then we got into it here, and we had a break even there, and then we picked up 8 ticks on that one. Then another break even right there. So we're at 46 at that point. 46, and then we had a 30 tick trade there. We went to 76, a break even there, a break even there. Somewhere we missed, somewhere in here I stopped out. I'm going to guess it's right here on this green arrow. Somewhere in here I stopped out, and I went from 76 down to 56. Then we got 36 there, we went to 86. Then we got 12 ticks there, and went to 90. I'm sorry, 8 ticks there, and went to 94. And then here, I thought it was going to get up to here and then failed down off of there, but it got up to there and went down. It didn't actually fail off there. And then it started going up again. So we took this one right here. We went from 94 to 98. We got 4 ticks profit on that. And then from 98 to 114. So we got 16 ticks profit on that. And then our final trade, that might have been our final trade. Our final trade, we got 4 ticks, went from 114 to 118, wherever that happened to be. This might have been the 16 tick trade. I don't know. But anyway, we ended up with 118 this morning on the NQ. During the break, there was this trade right here. Now, the way that this works, every blue arrow or green arrow has to put in a higher swing before you can take another trade after. So this one right here, you would have had enough room to get your stop to break even, maybe take a little profit, but you couldn't have taken a follow-up trade. So if you didn't bump your stop to break even, there's a chance you would have stopped out here, depending what your entry was. Stopped out to the tick before it made that move up. But for me, it would have been a break-even trade. I'm just about sure. And that was the only blue arrow. Wow. The only blue arrow during lunchtime. Let me scroll up here and see. All right, that's what I thought. All right, so we're getting into the afternoon session. Let me just say, first, go out here and hit this. If you're watching in YouTube right now and you haven't taken a free trial with us, and you want to, go here to mytradingiq.com. mytradingiq.com. Click on the purple button. When you click that, there's no credit card required for the trial. Click that. That's if you want to take the free trial. I know we had a couple of guys in there asking questions yesterday, and only one of them actually took the trial. And that one's not here today, and he was asking this morning why he didn't get into the trial this morning. He was the one that I just sent that link to a minute ago. Anyway, to take the free trial, you click on this, and what's going to happen, you'll go to this registration page, fill this out. Once you fill this out, it is automatically going to send you an invitation to the trial. Automatically going to send you an invitation to the trial. It's going to send you all the information you need to get in there. And then the day of the trial, like a half an hour before the trial starts, it's going to send you a reminder with the information. So if you're not getting that information, then look in your spam folder, right? Look in your, whatever they call it, promotions folder, whatever it is, because it is automatically sent out. Right? We don't send that out. It gets sent out automatically once you fill this form out. So if you signed up for the trial and you didn't get that information, you need to go look for it, right? It gets sent out automatically. You can ask us for it, and of course we'll send it to you again, but you need to like us or something like that, whatever you got to do in your email so that our stuff doesn't go to spam, okay? That is how you need to handle that, right? And that's how you sign up for the trial. All right. Okay, so we just had a couple of trades here. We had this blue arrow here that needs to put in a higher swing. It went enough to get the stop to break even, so you can't take it now. Now, that is something that people ask me, what if I missed the trade, or if the trade, if I didn't get in, should I chase it? And if it is gone enough where you would have moved the stop to break even from the proper entry, where you would have moved the stop to break even, then you can't take it. You have to wait, all right? You have to wait for the next one. Like both of these right here, I didn't take either one of those, and they both moved up. It is too late to take them now. You have to wait for the next one, okay? You have to wait for the next one. That would be the equivalent of chasing the trade. If you try to take it right now, it'd be the equivalent of chasing the trade. It's already done what it should have done to get your stop to break even, so your risk is off the trade. If you take it again right now, you're just guessing. It's already done what it should have done, and it's shown what it had to show from this move right here. It's shown that it didn't have enough steam to get up and put in a higher swing, so you don't want to take it here. It did not have enough momentum to put in a higher swing. This could be a rounding top right here. It could be the beginning of a move down. There's no reason to take a trade here. You see, this one didn't put in a higher swing. This one didn't put in a higher swing. This one didn't put in a higher swing. And this one didn't put in a higher swing. They could all be turning down right now. So you want to wait on that. Now, the last couple of days, I showed you some stuff with options using TV trades, right? What I didn't show you was what I should have showed you yesterday, when I showed you the gains that you could have made from the puts on NVIDIA shorts from Wednesday to Wednesday, this time Wednesday to Wednesday afternoon. What I should have shown you yesterday is the calls. When you get the blue arrow here, the calls, because you could walk calls here yesterday and been way up on those calls today. Now let's go through a couple of symbols and see if there's any opportunity to do that over the weekend. Okay. MicroStrategy, does it have anything good? Look, MicroStrategy has a long right here. So let's go look at MicroStrategy options. Look at that, I happen to have it right together. Let's go up to the top. And this is something that one of the fellows in YouTube asked about yesterday, the time element of it. Okay, so we're in April right now, April 26th. So we'll look at the May 3rd options. Okay, May 3rd is a week from now. So they're 1 week out. So you're going to pay for the time, and the time is going to play a role in it as you get over the weekend. Okay, because you lose in 2 days over the weekend, and that's real time. You're losing over the weekend. I know you can't trade options until Monday morning again, but look at them right here. Let's look at Mr. right now. Now, Mr. was coming down here pretty good, right? So the calls are going to be pretty cheap here. Now let's look at the calls. Let's just look at calls. Okay, calls. Okay, so calls right here. And where should it go? Let's do a little bit of analysis on this about where it should go, right? As we're looking at this, and it's taking forever because it's a 30-minute candle. Let's do a little bit of analysis about where this thing should go. You know, if you sign up for our morning session, you know, if you join with us, then I'll teach you all this stuff so you can learn how to do this and look for it on your own. But for right now, I'm just going to go through and do a couple of things and see if price has done what you expect it to do, what I expect it to do, and see what I anticipate it'll do from that point forward. Okay. So far it's pulled back a little deeper than I would like it to, but it's all good. I'll go from here to here. So this right here is where I expect it to get up to over the next week. Okay, over the next week. Now it's given targets from this blue arrow right here. So it's got a target up here, a long target right here. That's just given it from this blue arrow right here. So it's got a long target right here, right? And I expect it's going to get to that target. I don't know if it's going to get up to this one. It probably will by the end of next week. But this is early next week, right? I'm thinking it's going to get up to this 1432.63 number. I'll just highlight it here for right now. Okay. Right here. I'm going to make a big circle. I don't know if I can put text on that circle. Okay. Right up here is where I think that's going to go. I can't put any text on it. Actually, good. I can put text separate, but let me just put some text on there separate. This is text. Okay. And let's drop it on here. We'll do MSTR calls. And let's just throw a price on there for the calls that I think are looking pretty attractive. We were just looking at this number, right? 1433. 1433. Hang on a sec. 1433. So that's way down here. There's a lot of things you can look at in here, but what I like to look at, first look at the volume and then the open interest, because you got to have somebody that you can sell it to when you want to sell it. Right, so look at the open interest and the volume. So this has got pretty good open interest right here. It doesn't have a whole ton of volume. That's odd. This has a lot of volume, but not a lot of open interest right here, but it's down pretty good. So what that means is somebody sold a bunch. So that's what I like to look at when I'm looking at options. Okay, look at that, and of course look at the price, what you can afford, what you can't afford. But you don't want to pick something that's like this right here, where it's got open interest of 7 and volume of 1. You know, depending, of course, how many you're going to buy. You want to get something that first that you can afford, and then that you're going to be able to trade. Like this one right here, this 1500. It's a nice round number. It's got a good open interest and good volume. It's not too expensive. So let's just show this one right here. Okay, I'm going to take a picture of this. And that was from yesterday's lesson plan, but I'm going to take a picture of this. Okay, right now. And we're looking mainly right here. at these 1500s. Okay. Mainly at those. They're not down a whole bunch today. You could go for something that's down a whole bunch, but that's not really want to be because there's no interest. There's nobody there. But we'll just look at that, and we'll say right now 1500s. We'll say 1500 calls, and they're at 1535. Okay, so we go back in here and in this text, see 1500 calls. $15.35. Now, I think it's going to get up to the second level, maybe by the end of next week. So that's why the 1500s are looking pretty good. I think it's going to get up to here pretty shortly next week, just based upon this blue arrow. Okay. Now, if we back this out, you can see, let's back it out to more than that. We'll back it out to an hourly. Okay. And on the hourly here, you can see that this is called the W that's forming right here. And it's building the bottom part of this other W right here. And typically it's going to get up to the other side over here is what it's going to do. This is an ascending W pattern. And so it's looking pretty bullish. That is a really bullish pattern, the way it's coming together right here. And given that we have our blue arrow here from the 30-minute saying to go long, we've already had a good run down. Structure-wise, it looks like it's going to move up. That's a pretty good call right there, I think. We'll see. We'll see. We'll monitor it over the next week. I'm going to hit save on this right now. And so now that'll get saved on there. And we can come back and look at this next week. Right. I just want to do a little analysis because we did this. We did a quick look at it the other day, and it wasn't Mr. that we were looking at. It was NVIDIA that we were looking at the other day. And with NVIDIA, the thing that I didn't look at was after the leg down, right here is where we suggested to sell. To buy puts, and then they jumped almost 100% in the same day. And then the next day we didn't say to buy the calls right here, but you can see we have the same situation right here, the same exact situation right here. You see the same ascending W pattern, and that should get up here, and then whatever the next level is above that is what NVIDIA should do. All right, but we're a little late jumping on the NVIDIA bandwagon. All right, we're gonna have to wait for a pullback on that. And we're a little late to be looking for calls on this, but we're not late to be looking for calls on the Mister. Okay, just want to throw that out there for those of you guys that have access to the TV trades right now. That is one way that you can consider using it. All right, and yeah, that is kind of a limited bunch. People have access to the TV trades. Ken, are your blue arrows based solely on price trading above or below specified EMA? No, it is not an EMA thing. Ken, I'm glad you're back though. You asked those questions yesterday. No, it's not just a simple moving average thing. There is, you can put something in there. Look, let me show you. In here, if we go to this, now the arrows are based upon a whole bunch of different things. But if you wanted to put a bias on it, like let's say you only want to take long trades above some moving average, I added that in here, a bias level. So if you only want to take long trades when you're trading above the 233 simple moving average, put that on. It's only going to show you long trades above the 233. So right now it doesn't have anything above the 233. See, it's only showing short trades right now. So you can change all that. You're talking about blue arrows and black arrows? Are you talking about in here, or are you talking about over here? Over here, we have blue and black arrows. Over here, we only have blue and red arrows. Which one are you talking about, Ken? I don't have the question box up for this either right now. All right. hang on. Bart, how do I learn how to trade options and how much money is involved? Well, the money involved depends on what options you're going to be trading, and you can just watch and learn. The stuff that we're doing right now is recorded, Bart. So, and Joseph Nathan, we're not changing anything. You want to look at Meta? Yeah, we can look at Meta. Okay. We'll look at that in a minute. Okay. They were one and the same. No, they are not one and the same. They are two separate things. This is TV trades. TV trades. So it's Target View Trades. It's www.targetviewtrades.com. That's TV trades. And this is My Trading IQ. That's mytradingiq.com. Okay, or CFRN.net. mytradingiq.com or CFRN.net. Right now, if you sign up for this, you get a good trial to use this too. Okay. They're not one and the same. And over here, let me just answer your question. The blue and the black arrows. The blue and the black arrows in here. They are different. The difference between the blue and the black arrows is a blue arrow happens when price pulls back and hits the ribbon. A black arrow is when price pulls back and doesn't hit the ribbon. In both cases, it has to pop out of the oversold or the overbought, depending on what direction you're going in. So if you're in a long-term trend, bullish long-term trend, like prices are going up like this, you're in a bullish long-term trend. When it pops out of the oversold, you're going to get some kind of an arrow. All right, the arrow that you get depends on how far back price is pulled. If it hasn't touched the ribbon, you're going to get a black arrow. If it just barely touches the ribbon, you're going to get a blue arrow. If it goes all the way down into the black line within the ribbon, you're going to get a green arrow. If it goes too deep into the ribbon, you're going to get no arrow, like this right here. If it goes too deep into the ribbon so that the black touches the red background, the red context, you're going to get no arrow. Right, that's the difference. Okay, like right here, all these blue arrows, price pulled back and just barely touched the ribbon. It didn't touch the black line in the ribbon. If it were to pull through and touch the black line in the ribbon like this one did right here and come out of the overbought, you'd get a green arrow. Right? Like right here. Where it pulled back and it touched the black line in the ribbon and it came out of the oversold in this case because the long-term trend is bullish. And this one, just for a minute here, it was bullish. You get the green arrow. That's the difference between the green arrows, the black arrows, and the blue arrows. Okay. Just so you understand it all. And Meta. Joseph. Were you here when I said just a minute ago about all this stuff when you go over here and you sign up for the trial? And when you sign up for the trial, you fill out this form. I know you did that yesterday. And yesterday the form had today's date and all that stuff. This is for next week now. But when you fill this out, it automatically sends you the information you need to get into the room in the morning. And then a half an hour before the room opens, it sends it to you again. So if you did not have that in your email this morning, it's because it's gone to your spam. So you need to go look for it in your spam. And then you need to like us. And that doesn't get sent by us. That gets sent by GoToWebinar. Okay. You don't need anything else, Bart. I'll sell you something. I don't know what I can sell you, but I'll sell you something. I have a can of paint that's half empty that I'm never going to use. I have one that matches it, that's full, that I'm not going to use. It's a full gallon of paint. Sherwin-Williams. But no, Nathan, Joseph, Nathan. You guys, like Sydney, Joseph, Nathan. You guys are right on top of each other too. You have Joseph, Nathan, Joseph, Sydney, right on top of each other. Two guys with first and last names. Well, first names for both your first and last names. Right in a row. Anyway, Joseph, Nathan, your invitation. I saw your email about not getting invited to the room this morning. You were invited to the room. You filled out the form yesterday. It was automatically sent to you. It's probably in your spam. All right, you're going to be sent a new one. This is the new password for next week. It'll have a new link. So that's going to be sent to you as well. That's for the morning session. Okay. And I also sent you an email yesterday, Joseph Nathan, that when you filled out the form, you didn't do this down here at the bottom and give us your TradingView login ID. You didn't give us that. You didn't give us a NinjaTrader. If you don't have Ninja, that's fine. Don't give us a machine ID. But I'm almost sure you have TradingView login because we enabled you for that one time before, I think, in December. And you have to give us your TradingView login ID if you want to get access to the indicators. You didn't do that when you filled out the form yesterday. Okay, let's back here to the
Ken in YouTube has another question for you.
Ken, okay, in YouTube, in the future, can you show some ODT using TV trades? Give me a symbol that you're interested in, and I'll be happy to show it to you. Okay, the one that I just gave you right there with Meta, it doesn't, they expire today. Not Meta, but the Mister. Those options expire today. I don't know how much more it's going to move right now from the 30-minute chart, but the ones that expire on the 26th, the ones that I was looking at a little while ago. All right, I didn't show you those options, but if we go here to MicroStrategy and we go back up here and look at the stuff that expires today, so you're not paying for any time on that. The ones that expire today, MicroStrategy. Now, I don't know how much more MicroStrategy is going to move for the rest of the day today. We only have a couple hours left, but they're way down right now. And these are the calls. I think they're the calls, right? I'm still looking at calls right here. Now we're looking at all options. No, looking at calls. Well, let's just look at calls. Okay, well, these are the calls. Anyway, you're not going to get much movement out of this anymore today. You know, I wouldn't think you're going to get much more. With stuff expiring the way it is, look at the spreads that you have in here. You're not going to make up that spread today. So it's kind of late to do it right now. KHC, you want to look at that symbol? KHC. There you go. Craft Hines. Let's look at it on a smaller time frame though, okay? Because you're looking at stuff that's going to expire today. What's the price of that? 38. Let's look at it on the range bar. Get on the 25 range. Okay, so every bar is a quarter. Every bar is a quarter. That does not move around very much. So 25 range is probably too big. Let's look at it on a dime range. 10 range. Here we go. Okay, so every bar is a dime now. What it's looking like to me right now is it's found some resistance right here. It's probably going to pull back. The chance to enter it today. Let me make sure I got shorts on. Yeah, okay. And let me shut off the bias level on this. Okay. So today it gave a short right here at 949. So at that point would have been a good time to buy some puts. I don't know how much the puts would have appreciated in value at that point, but 38.49 was when it gave you that blue arrow, that red arrow. And look at the puts here. And I'm looking at KHC too. Let me change the symbol. KHC. And just hang on, Nathan. We'll look at yours too in a minute here. Wow, it's 125 already. All right, and let's just look at the options and puts. And this is Yahoo Finance. These are probably delayed a little bit too. Let's just look at the puts here for that. There's not a lot of puts. Not a lot of demand either. No, I guess there's some open interest on it. The volume today. Not a whole lot going on with that. Not a whole lot of movement. You can see the ones that did trade, you know, there's big movement in the ones that did trade. But this morning, if you were selling puts up here at 38.49, I would have been looking for a move, a 50% move, retracement of this move up is what I would have been looking for this morning. Okay, so if I were doing those, this is what I would have been looking for right here. 38.17 is what I would have been looking for. And so if I remove that, oops, Oops, I didn't remove all that. Let me put that back on. And when it comes back on, I'm gonna have to set it again. But if I remove that, this thing is what I was trying to move. There. Then 38.17 is what I've been looking for. So right now, I mean, I don't know what the puts are worth right now, but this morning you would have been buying puts for like 37.5, 38s maybe. But at the time it was priced up here at 38.50. So this would have been right at the money. So you've been buying these 38s, 38 puts. I don't know what they would have been worth at the time, but so far this morning, it's down a little bit. Well, there's very little volume in it, so I don't know what you can do with that. Okay, Meta is what Nathan wanted to look at, so let's just look at that really quick. Meta platforms. Okay, and this is a $400 stock, so we're not going to look at that on a 10 range. We'll look at that. Let's 400. Look at that on a 50 range, right? So every bar is 50 cents, and we'll look at it in a couple of different ways. All right. This is looking at it. That is a stock, so I'm going to get rid of the shorts, all right? Because you're not going to be shorting Meta. You're just going to be looking for long opportunities on Meta. And so far today, it's given several long opportunities that all worked out pretty well. These right here at the beginning didn't work out so well. Oops, was this today? Yeah, this is all today. Now I took off the shorts, but at the very beginning of the morning, it had a long down here at 439.50, and it ran from 439.50 all the way up to 446. So it ran up $7, and then it tanked all the way down here. And see the stop on this right here? The stop would have been right down here. So your entry point on this 436.17, your stop would have been down here at 435.13. So you would have like $1.50 stop on that. Same thing on this one, about $1.50 stop. So after making, if you got the whole thing on this, 439.50, and it ran up to, let's just go to this one here, 439.50 up to 442 and change. So that's $3. This is not $1.50 stop. 36.33. It's right here. I'm sorry, 36.20. Yeah, it would have been less than $1 stop on this one right here. After making a couple bucks on that last one, and then this one here, 433. We'll say 434. It ran up to 442. $8 on that move. That's Meta. Now, if you want to see Meta, does Ninja trade options? I don't think so, Bart. You got to go with like TD Ameritrade or something like that. I don't think Ninja does that. But if you were to look at Meta on a little bit bigger time frame, like a 30-minute in here, this is what it looks like. Okay, you wouldn't have had a trade on here in a 30-minute. The last trade you had was back here in April, the 18th of April, right here. It was a little bit of a long trade. That was the last trade you had. All right, if we put the shorts on, it probably gave you a short in there on the 30-minute. Probably give you a short right in here, maybe. No, give you a short higher than that. Give you a short back here. Give you a bunch of shorts in there on Meta. So that's what Meta looks like, and that's what TV trades. Now, if we look at Meta, let's take that off for a second, and we'll throw the context PP on here. All right, and once it loads up, if you look at Meta, if you want to look at equities, doing what we do in the morning, because you can use the same stuff that we do in the morning in here. Put that on the 50 range, and the no trade zone is going to take out all the arrows. But let's just go in here and we'll take off the no trade zone so you don't see that. I'm actually not going to see any arrows if I leave the no trade zone on the way that it is. So let me just make the no trade zone something more reasonable. Let's see what that does. That's a lot better. Okay, so I mean, Meta's Meta. It's it's really choppy, and in here on a 50 range, it would have given you at the beginning of today. Let's go back to the beginning of today. Now you're not going to day trade stocks like this, right? But if you were to try to day trade stocks, Meta gave you, and just thinking you're going to go long, you're not going to be shorting stocks, it gave you some long opportunities right in here when the day started. Okay, it gave you one. That was yesterday. Gave you a long opportunity right in there, and there, and there. That one wouldn't have worked out. There, and there, and there, and there. And blue green arrows in here. That wouldn't have worked out. But again, this right here is more focused on the futures trading that we use it for. And you can use it on a higher time frame. If you want to use it on like a 30-minute or something like that, you can use it for stocks. I wouldn't try to use it on a smaller time frame like this for stocks. And again, with stocks, you're mostly just trying to go long. But if you want to use the TV trades was actually made for stocks. So, that's more along the lines of that stuff. And can which is the broker that you can afford to put a stop loss using the price like 436, not the premium? I don't know about that, Joseph. The only one I ever trade with is Thinkorswim. That's the only one I ever trade options with. All right, I don't use Tasty Trade. So I don't know about that. The question was which broker you can put the stop loss using the price, like 436 price, not the premium. And he also asked me to show a probable trade from 2DT, ODT, and swing. You're gonna have to give me a symbol. Give me a symbol, give me a time frame, and I'll show you something. But I've run out of time. Joseph, if you really sign up for the trial and you give us the information that, when you fill out this form, you didn't give us the information when you fill out the form. This form right here, you didn't give us the information down here. If you really fill that out, you'll get access to all this stuff. Okay, and you can go watch it all on your own. You too can. if you go here to mytradingiq.com, click on the purple button. No credit card is required for the trial. Click on the purple button, and it's going to bring you to this page, this registration page. All right. On this page, all we ask for is your first name, your last name, your email, your phone number. Down here at the bottom, if you have NinjaTrader, give us your machine ID. If you have TradingView, give us your login ID. This stuff that you're seeing right here, all of this and all the other stuff, I can just do it this way. All of this is only available on TradingView. All right. This right here is what DT Pro and NinjaTrader look like. Right. This is what DT Pro and NinjaTrader look like. That other stuff that you see is only available on TradingView. So if you don't have TradingView, then you're not going to be able to see all that other stuff. If you do have TradingView, give us your login ID and we'll say, yep. If you have NinjaTrader, give us your machine ID. If you don't have TradingView, then we'll go back here. If you don't have TradingView, go here to trading platforms. Go to mytradingiq.com, click on trading platforms, and right here, watch that video. Click on this link right here. You get a free version of TradingView for a little while. To use the custom timeframes that we use, like the range bars, the custom range bars, you got to pay for something. Like the Essential is $14.95 a month. But that's how you get TradingView. Okay. If you don't have TradingView and you want to get TradingView, go here to mytradingiq.com, click on trading platforms, follow the instructions right here, click on this link. It's going to bring you to that page that I just brought you to. You will get, you do have an option to sign up for totally free. Now, when you sign up for free, you only get like one chart with one indicator and no custom time frames and all that, but it is free. Okay. All right. So I totally got sidetracked with everything that I did today, but anyway, it's pretty good. Bart, NinjaTrader does not do options, so we can just talk about it if you want. We can talk on the phone about options if you want. Okay. All right. Anybody else? If you have any questions, you can email support support@cfrn.net or support@mytradingaq.com. What TradingView package do I need to access range bars? The Essential will give you range bars. I mean, they all give you range bars, but the default, well, I don't know that the free one does, but the default range bars are 1, 10, 100, and 1,000 are the default range bars, right? And this allows you to make custom range bars. So, you know, the different, if you're talking, Ken, if you're talking about like looking at equities and different price equities, you need different price range bars, because, you know, something that's priced at $30, you're not going to use it, you know, or something that's priced at $50. No, you're not going to use 100 range bar on that. And a 10 range bar is probably too small. So something in between, like a 25 range bar or a 50 range bar would be right, where every bar is a quarter, every bar is 50 cents. That's why the custom range bars are handy. And for $14.95, you know, you get a ton of stuff for $14.95. And really, when you first sign up for it, the first, you know, I think for me, I'd have to downgrade from here. But if I were signed out and I were doing this, it would offer it to me for free for 30 days. So you get it for free for 30 days if you've never signed up for TradingView before, right? So sign up for either the Essential or the Plus for 30 days for free. This is what it gives me right now, because I clicked on the link and I'm signed in with the premium platform. But you guys don't need the premium. You don't need anything more than the Plus, unless you're going to start, you know, we probably don't even need anything more than the Plus unless because we don't do live streams anymore, but they'll probably bring that back to us. But, you know, before doing live streams and stuff, you had to be premium. And, you know, I do like having a whole bunch of charts and layouts and all that. Joseph, can you share the login here? Is this, no, we're the only ones who can see what you type in. So you can share it here if you want to. Okay, and I probably already have it in there because you signed up in December. So I know I gave you access in December. But if you type it in, then I can update it.
Yeah, guys,
no.
As you come and go and take trials, we're aware. I mean,
yeah, we know. You're not pulling the wool over our eyes.
Yeah, we hate to embarrass you or make it situation awkward for anyone. So, you know, just do the right thing, and then there won't be a problem.
Joseph, that's not your TradingView ID. That is not your TradingView login ID.
As I typed, we don't want your email address. We simply want your username.
Username. When you go to TradingView and you hover over whatever symbol it is, like for me, you know, for me it's this right here, and I hover over that, it says logged in as CFRN. When you hover over that, like for you, it may have a J or something like that, or an M, depending what you use. Hover over it, what does it say? I'm guessing I know what it says, and I can go check that, but if you tell me what it is, then I can update it for you. Okay, or you can just email it to us. But we're the only ones who can see what you type in here. Just me and Dwayne right now. Okay. All right, so I ran way over on this. I'm 10 minutes over and cutting into Dwayne's afternoon. So I'm going to send it back out to Fabulous Drinks Arizona. If you guys do have any questions, Ken, I answered your question. If you have any more questions, then type them in, okay, or send them to me. You can email them to support@cfrn.net, support@mytradingaq.com. You can also, you can text me, but I'm not going to throw that out there right now. Sign up for the trial. You get access to us, right? You get one-on-one training even while you're in the trial. Joseph, you said you're in the bathroom. Okay. Your email address is not what we need. Hover over whatever it is. For you, it might be a J. For me, it's this. It says logged in as CFRN. Whatever it says you're logged in as, that's what we need. Your email address is not the right thing. Okay. All right. That is going to be it, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. Okay. And pass it back up. It is not.
No, it's not. If you'll
They don't allow those symbols.
If you'll just go and hover over in the upper left-hand corner of the TradingView platform, it will say that you are logged in as whatever username you chose. But we don't have 2 minutes, so when you get it, just email it to support@cfrn.net, okay?
Yes, because I'm passing it back out to Fabulous Phoenix, Arizona right now. In Studio A. Okay. And you can email it. Just email it. That's all you have to do. And there it is. Dwayne's got the charts.
Okay, recap of the morning session.
Today it took 9 minutes and 3 trades to get to $1,760.
Outstanding.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, guys, we made it through all the individual markets. We will take one last look at the daily chart, where we have, after a week of trying, this was last Friday right here, where we left this little tail below the 38% fib extension. And we caught a 2-day leg to the upside, then retracement, back to the 38% fib extension. And that rallied us up to the BBC, which is all we wanted to do all week long. Anyway, now price has to do one of two things. Break through the 62% fib extension and the trend line as it attempts to put in a new all-time historic high. Or, as you can see, pull back to the BBC, especially the first one after a bullish or bearish cross. Holds more often than not. Could even spike up and touch both of those. As long as we don't let go of the BBC, the pullback is holding. And that's where I look for the down leg to take us at least to the 50% fib retracement. That's from the October 27th low to the April 1st high. That would put us around 47.75. To become a member, go to mytradingiq.com. Just click the Buy Now button. Or you can call us at 949-42-EMINI and send an email to support@cfrn.net. 9 out of 10 new traders fail because they don't have someone to teach them how to trade. I spoke this morning with someone who told me how truly flabbergasted they were to see someone actually trading live in real time in front of everybody. Because they belong to an organization and they have a trading room, but it's just where people are, like shooting the breeze and whatnot. Nobody's actually doing any live trading. Nobody's teaching you how to trade. Now, if your goal is to learn how to trade for a living, stop buying all these holy grails and understand this. There's only one holy grail. It's called learning how to trade. You don't see false promises on our website because we don't make them. You don't see us just tell blatant lies about so many things. We answer to a higher standard than that. And we have since 2005. We're closing in April of next year. We'll make 20 years since we launched CFRN. So, that's what you want if you actually want to learn how to trade. Because 9 out of 10 new traders fail. But there's a reason. It's because they don't have anyone to teach them how to do the job. Should you become a member, then we will make it our job to teach you. Not only in the room for 2 hours every day, but also with private one-on-one mentoring at no additional cost. The strategy you learn and the indicators you own as a passport holder are fluid across all markets and all time frames. Futures, stocks, crypto, Forex, ETFs. Price flows the same across all markets and all time frames. Support to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, over and over, again and again. Never-ending cycle. Now, some people say, oh, well, that's not possible. You can trade gold the way you trade corn. They've got different personalities. Well, I'm sure they do. But we're not looking for a relationship. We're looking for a high probability, low risk trade opportunity. And since price flows the same across all markets and all time frames, once you learn how to trade, you can trade anything, anywhere, anytime, without changing a thing. Trading's not easy, but it can be simple if you have someone to show you and teach you how to do the job. As a passport holder, you'll also receive the Logic 247 alerts, which are part of the learning process. The concierge trade alerts, which are part of the learning process. You'll be able to attend the members-only workshop on Thursday night. And as a passport holder, you'll get the golden key that opens all the private channels in Telegram. Everything a trader needs, all under one roof, one low price. Let's wrap this week up. Good word for the day. We're going to talk about faithfulness for the next couple days. Proverbs 20, verse 6. Many claim to have unfailing love, but a faithful person who can find? Now listen carefully or you won't get the joke here. A new employee once asked a coworker, "How long have you been working for this company?" He replied, "Ever since the boss threatened to fire me." How many of us have ever had jobs in our life where we spent very little time working and a whole lot of time trying to figure out how to not get caught not working? And everybody nodded their head. If you don't like the job you have, if you're not passionate about it, if it doesn't make you want to leap out of bed in the morning, you go get a different job. Going to work every day shouldn't be like shuffling off the jail. Find a company where you can contribute, where you can be a part, where you can grow. I've had a lot of employees over the course of my life. Some great ones. Some I just as soon forget. But you know, no matter where they were the greatest or the least, I learned lessons from each and every one of them. Employers scramble to find workers who are faithful and dependable. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people can't get past the part where, oh, well, what college degree do you have? Well, gee, I didn't actually go to college. I was fighting for my country. Or we were working class poor, so I had to go to work. I couldn't afford the luxury of college. And so now, you're still digging ditches. But for all those that got the luxury of going to college and getting the higher education and getting those letters after their name, you, from your position, in the ditch as you're digging, thanks to our current administration, you get to pay for their college as they spit on you as they drive by in their Lambo. Sad state of affairs. Citizens long for politicians who will faithfully carry out their campaign promises. In the marriage ceremony, newlyweds are asked to be faithful to the vows they make to each other. Truth is, without faithfulness, your influence will be restricted or wiped out. Without faithfulness, the total of all your other wonderful talents is diluted. Faithfulness turns the mundane into the miraculous and transforms ordinary individuals into dependable achievers. Wise King Solomon asked this soul-searching question. Many claim to have unfailing love, but a faithful person who can find? The world wants people who are faithful. There are more than 300 geysers in Yellowstone National Park. That's approximately half of the known geysers in the world. But one stands above the others. It's not the largest, and its waters don't reach the greatest height. But it's by far the most popular. And its popularity is due solely to one thing: its dependability. People stand in long lines under the hot sun to see it because, according to a precise schedule, it shoots a stream of boiling water more than 120 feet into the air. You can literally set your watch by it. That's why it's called Old Faithful. People are attracted to faithfulness, whether in the workplace, whether in the home, whether in your social group, or your church. God is glorified by our faithfulness. So in all you do this day, practice faithfulness. And that's our good word for today. Joseph asked, "How will I know you have added me?" Michael answered you. Look in your invite-only folder under the indicators. He's activated everything for you. We're happy to extend this second trial to you, okay? So make sure you make the most of this one. Please. And thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you, His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.